So what's the right ceiling height for an apartment? Ceiling height, I want you to know, is very, very crucial. Don't be fooled. I want you to be informed. The ceiling height affects how you feel about your apartment. Not only you, but also your friends, your family, your loved ones. It's how it makes them feel. And as importantly, how it will make your end buyer feel when it comes time to put your apartment on the market. Ceiling height will have a very, very big influence over that, which is why it affects the total value of your apartment. Here's a little design tip that designers are very, very familiar with, and that is if you increase your ceiling height by a mere 30 centimeters, it will feel like you've added 60 centimeters to your ceiling height. So keep that in mind. Just that 30 centimeters, or in other words, 1 foot, feels like it's double the increase in height. So in this segment, you're going to discover these 7 things. 1. The 2 types of ceiling height regulations that affect apartment value. And most people don't know this. 2. What is the legal minimum ceiling height of an apartment? 3. What is the height of an average human? This is going to be crucial because ceiling heights are based on the average height of a human being. I mean, imagine if humans were twice the height of the average today, our ceiling heights would be completely different. 4. What's the right ceiling height for an apartment? 5. What is the minimum ceiling height for a certified house apartment? 6. I'm going to show you an easy way to compare ceiling heights when buying off the plan. And 7. What is considered as ultra luxury ceiling height? I'm going to give you a number, a height that will be perceived as ultra luxury. But first of all, we need to understand that ceiling heights are measured in meters. So 1 meter is simply 3.28 feet. So you get to see that. If you look at, a meter and you work in the old system of feet and inches, well, 1 meter is 3.28 feet. There's your 3 feet and 0.28 of a foot. Now, what is the average human height? The average is 1.7 meters or 5 foot 6 inches. I want you to keep that in mind. Now that's an average of the average of a height of a male and the average height of the average female. We take the 2 averages of both a male and the female and we get a human average of 1.7 meters. Now this is very, very crucial to keep this figure in mind and compare, yourself to that standard so that you know what that means when we're looking at ceiling heights. So what is a minimum allowable ceiling height? This is the regulation set by governments. Well, it depends, because there are 2 types of ceiling height regulations that I need you to be aware of. One is for a habitable room and the other is for a non-habitable room. What does that mean? Well, a habitable room is a room that you spend a lot of time in, and the authorities see this as your bedroom, the family room, or a study, and so on. It's a room that you spend a lot of time in. And a non-habitable room is something that you basically move in and out of on a frequent basis. In other words, an ensuite, bathroom, toilet, laundry, the hallway. These are all non-habitable rooms. And there are different standards for a habitable room versus a non-habitable room. So what's the regulation ceiling height for a non-habitable room? Would you believe it's only 2.1 meters? In other words, 7 feet, 2.1 meters is the regulation height. So a developer doesn't need to make it any taller than 2.1 meters. Now, of course, that saves on cost in building, it saves on materials, it saves on labor costs. So that's why you find a lot of, apartment buildings are in the regulation height. But what's the minimum ceiling height for a house apartment non-habitable room? Now for us this is very important because even though it's not a room that you live in, it's a room that you move in and out of, how you live is very crucial for us at house apartments. So this minimum ceiling height, and now this is the minimum, we accept nothing less than this for a certified house apartment in a non-habitable room, is 2.4 meters compared to 2.1 meters, which is the regulation height. Now that extra 30 centimeters, remember what I said at the start, that extra 30 centimeters feels like 60 centimeters to the human eye, because space is and heights are very deceiving. Now, what is the regulation ceiling height for a habitable room? Now, this is where you spend most of your time in, like the family room, like your bedroom, like a study, and so on. Well, a regulation ceiling height for a habitable room is 2.4 meters. Now, that's the minimum for our non-habitable room for a certified house apartment. So developers know that they don't need to make them any more than 2.4 meters. Now, if you're 1.7 meters tall, the average human, I mean, just a little bit of a jump and you're touching that ceiling. So what's the minimum ceiling height then for a certified house apartment in a habitable room? For us, it's 2.7 meters. It cannot be less than 2.7 meters. That's an extra 30 centimeters above the regulation minimum requirement by authorities. So again, that extra 30 centimeters doesn't seem like a lot on paper when you're looking at a floor plan, but in reality, it feels like 60 centimeters. It feels like you've doubled the space just by going that extra 30 centimeters. It makes a huge difference to the value of your property. That's why you let us certify your apartment and you will instantly have a point of difference. So what would be considered an ultra luxury ceiling height for a habitable room? Now, I've been asked this question a lot lately, and I want you to think of a basketball ring. A basketball ring is quite high. I mean, next time you go out there and you look at a basketball ring, have a look at the height of that ring. If you're an average human at 1.7 meters, what's that height? You'll be surprised. That height of a basketball ring is actually 3 meters. Now that's a fair distance. And that to us is what's considered a luxury ceiling height, an ultra luxury ceiling height. For us, it's 2.7 meters. Add another 30 centimeters there, and you're at 3 meters, which is the height of a basketball ring. And now you're really swimming in luxury. Now let's just recap. Ceiling height matters to us. The average human is 1.7 meters tall. Regulation says it doesn't. The ceiling heights in a non-habitable room don't have to be more than 2.1 meters. You can touch that. Just get on your tippy toes and you're touching the ceiling of that room. Not a pleasant feeling. I mean, especially if you're claustrophobic as well. So 2.4 meters, again, not fantastic. That's a little bit of a jump and you're touching the ceiling there. At 2.7 meters, now you're talking space. Now you're talking comfort. Now you're talking luxury. And at 3 meters, it's ultra luxury. So to us, ceiling height not only matters, it's crucial. That's why we don't even look at anything in this realm. The regulation for us is just way too small. It's nowhere near what it should be when you consider that our motto is where and how you live matters. And it definitely is not a great place to live in this environment over here. 2.7 is the absolute minimum for a certified house apartment. If you can find a house apartment that's at 3 meters or anything between 2.7 and 3 meters and beyond, you're in the ultra luxury realm of a certified house apartment. So ceiling height is crucial. Now that you know this stuff, you can't be fooled. The ceiling height affects how you feel about your apartment, and that's why it affects the resale value of your apartment as well. And it's also why it forms one of the big 8 criteria of a certified house apartment. The third criteria is the ceiling height of a habitable room. It's a minimum of 2.7 meters. And for a non-habitable room, it's 2.4 meters. So both criteria number 3 and number 4 are crucial in a certified house apartment. Good luck with your search. I hope this has helped inform you so you won't be fooled when you're looking at an apartment off the plan. And if that apartment has a certified Housepartments tick to it, then you know all of the groundwork and all of the thinking has been done for you. All the best and keep adding value to your life.